We are going to make a guitar out of a Kleenex box, some rubber bands, a tube, and optionally paper or stickers or whatever you have to decorate it. Now, the convenient thing about a tissue box is that most of us use them, and they're already decorated. So if you don't want to decorate it, you don't have to. But if you do want to decorate it, you can take some paper, and if you hold your paper over the box, you can make some folds. So if I just put it over the box, push down on top, doesn't matter where, as long as I'm hitting the top of my box, I'm creating a fold. If I do that on all sides, it will give me little fold marks. Somebody's got to use your nails to actually make a mark. But if I do that on all sides, it will make fold marks that I can use to cut along and decorate my box with. So those fold marks will tell me how big of a paper I need to cut. And you want to cut on the outside of your little folding creases there rather than on the inside, or you can cut right on them, because it's better to have a little bit more than a little bit less usually. But yeah, you don't have to decorate your box if you don't want to. Now, this plastic here will cut out some of the sound. The reason for that is your bands make sound by vibrating. See those little how it's shaking there? This will cut some of the vibrations. Where it'll touch the band. If you touch the band when it's vibrating, it stops vibrating. So if I pluck it, let me see with this thumb, pluck it, put my thumb on, stops vibrating. And those vibrations are where the sound comes from. So I want to take that out. So I can just use some scissors and cut them out. So I put my scissors on here and just cut along. Sometimes if you just push straight down, it'll come right off. And sometimes you have to cut it out. You might want to get a parent to help you cut it out if it's a little bit tricky. Once you start cutting, sometimes the rest will just rip off. But if you have a really thin Kleenex box, it can rip off some of the inside too. All right, now if you want your guitar to have a neck, you can take either a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll and put it on the top of the box and just draw a circle around it. Now, giving your box a neck is or your guitar a neck rather, is completely optional because this part might need a bit of parent help. If you want, you can cut out the hole you made with some scissors or with an X-Acto knife. Because your scissors, you can't just hold them safely and cut like this. It won't go through. So you do kind of need to push the tip in or use an X-Acto knife, which you shouldn't do without an adult. So if you want to do that part, you can get an adult, or you can also tape your neck on, tape or glue it on. I think tape is the easiest, so I'm going to put some tape because I'm not strong enough to cut it out on my own with these scissors, or my scissors aren't sharp enough, one of the two, not sure which. And all the other adults are gone. So I'm going to put some tape on one side, the other side. Make sure I'm having some hang off. I'll put it all the way around. I'll put 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And then just lift up the tape, stick it right on there, and then push the tape down. So the tape will hold it in place. Ta-da! Now, the neck of a guitar is, back up a little bit, this part on the guitar. And usually our strings go all the way up the neck to the head of the guitar, this part here, and they're tied with these little pegs. And here's the hole. But with our Kleenex box here, or at least with my Kleenex box, it's too big to stretch my elastic all the way up to the neck. So instead of stretching it all the way up to the neck, I'm just going to stretch it over the length of the Kleenex box like that. I find sometimes it helps to pull on the elastic a little bit, make sure that they're not dried out, because dried out elastics can snap. And then I'm going to slide them right over. So I put it on the top, pull it all the way down and over. If your elastics are too small for your box, or your box is too big for the elastics, you can, instead of putting them from the top to the bottom, so lengthwise, you can put them the other way. So you can pull them over like this. But choose one or the other. Otherwise, they'll stop each other from vibrating. The faster an elastic vibrates, the higher the sound, or the pitch will be. The slower it vibrates, the lower the sound. So this big, thick one, see, it doesn't shake as much, not vibrating as much. So the sound is lower. This long, skinny one that's stretched a little bit more has a higher sound because it's vibrating a little bit more than this one. Most guitars have 6 strings, so I'm going to use 6 elastics if I can, put them all over. But if you can't get 6, that's totally okay. Okay, so I put 6 elastics on here. Let's see how it sounds. That sounds good. That sounds good. That does not sound good. Now these two are tighter. So when I pull them, they're vibrating. These guys are pulled tight. These guys are too loose. So that's why these ones aren't making a sound. So I bet if I replace these with some tighter elastics, if I can find some, it'll make a better sound. Let's try it. Okay, so I couldn't find enough thinner elastics to replace all my elastics, or tighter ones. They would still be long enough to fit over this long box, but still getting a sound out of there. So that's how you make your guitar. The neck is up to you. Decorating this is up to you. And if you want to put a head on here, you can do that too. I'll show you how to do that. The head is just a rectangle. So I'm going to take my paper. I'm going to hold it up to my guitar. I'm going to guess how much of a head I need. So I'll show you the back. So I'm thinking, you know what? That size would be good. And I'll just cut around there. So if this was on the table, it would be a lot easier to draw, but I could draw a little line around there, a straight line and a straight line to make a rectangle, and then cut it out. Okay, now I have a rectangle. Sometimes they go in a little bit on the sides. So I could cut in a little bit on the side, or sometimes the sides go in at a slant. So I could cut a little bit at a slant. There's a whole bunch of different ways that they look, so it doesn't have to look a certain way. I just cut at an angle down there. There we go. Could do it like that. And then if I wanted some pegs, I could take some of the cardboard pieces I cut off and stick them out there. So I'm just taking, these are from the slants I cut off. take those, put them at the top, and tape them on the back. Or I could cut out some new little rectangles. If you are putting pegs, you usually want 1 peg for each string. So 6. And 6 is 3 plus 3. So 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Once you made 1 peg that you like the shape of, use it to trace your other pegs. So I'm going to put it on my paper. I'm going to trace a line around it with my pencil. Then I'm going to cut out that shape. Okay, so I laid out my pegs on the back of my head so this part won't be seen. And I can glue or tape them on. Where I want 3 on each side. So I'm just going to tape 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 on each side. If you're not doing this, you can stop the video, or if you aren't doing this part, hopefully you've already stopped the video and you're making your own. Okay, there's my head of the guitar. Now I just need to place that on the top. Okay, so to get this guy to stick on, I'm going to put tape. Well, ideally I put some glue right here, stick it on, and then put a piece of tape from the inside of my tube up here. So it's attaching this part to the inside of the tube. It'll hold it on really well. So put my tape on the inside of the tube so the sticky part's coming out. Put this on. Oh, hold on. First of all, my guitar is facing this way, right? So I want the sticky part to be facing the front of my guitar. Then I'm going to attach the back to the sticky part so that it looks like that. And it's going to fall over unless I put some tape or glue right here. All right, here's my guitar, and hopefully you have one too, and you're ready to start a band. Have fun.